Alright, let's get you guys going on bringing your ships into Navismaster. So first thing you're going to need is Unity, and to get Unity you've got to go through the Unity hub, and I would say that you've got to get 2022 3.9F1 right now, so that we know we're all working with the same version. This version's stable and it works, so we haven't updated it yet, but that might come soon. So just create yourself a new HDRP project, this one right there, and call it whatever you want. I'm just going to call this Navis 2 and create. And yeah, this stage takes quite a while, so be prepared. Okay, once Unity's finished its work, you've landed here, you can just close this menu. Okay, so this is a stock playground. Delete these items first. Assets, import package, custom package. Go to your downloads or wherever you've put your Navismaster, and in there you'll see this Unity package file. Let's open that. Import. You just go next and import. Okay, it's imported, so you want to go to empty template, double click on the empty templates. You don't have to worry about saving this just yet. You don't have to worry about this. Okay, so here we go. You should be seeing this. Okay, so this is a basic template for any ship to bring in. All your necessary tools are going to be here. If you open on the hierarchy, you'll see there's our smoke. Click on it, you'll see it in action. Center of gravity, lights groups, your hull collider, camera, where your spawn point or orbit point is going to be for the exterior camera. These are buoyancy points. The water interaction, this is the sphere that's going to deform the water surface or ocean surface. Here's your propeller and rudder. These are empty objects at the moment. You're going to be replacing it with your mesh. I'll show you how just now. And then we've got a bunch of duds over here that we don't need. And then canvas is the HUD, so you don't have to worry about that right now. Alright, let's start with bringing in the ship itself. Okay, so I'm going to use a little ferry. That's pretty simple to bring in. So what you want to do is you're not going to be dragging it in directly into wherever on the assets. You're going to create a folder for your model, and we can call it ship model. Make sure it's placed in the asset subdirectory. Bring your boat in. So you've got one folder for the ship's model, and then you've got another folder for your mod tool. So what you want to do now, before you bring any of this in, let's go create mod under mod tools. Create a new mod. Let's call this just ferry. Create mod under assets, it's fine. Create mod, there we go. And that's it for this. We'll come back to this when we're done. Okay, the model's here. Extract materials, and I'm going to go and create extracted materials folder so that I can keep this nice and organized. Doesn't really matter where you put that, but it's going to get messy. Right, let's drag this in. First thing you want to do is zero everything, make sure it's dead center, and check on the ship. When you click on the in the hierarchy ship, you'll see the blue Z axis is forward, so make sure that your boat's bow is pointing in the same direction. Alright, there's our boat. So you want to unpack the prefab completely. Make sure you drag it in to the hierarchy under the ship, not out the group, otherwise your boat will be static. And And right now you can see there's not much going on as far as textures go. So I'm not going to go full depth in the textures right now. I'm just going to bring in one little texture here. And we'll make this, the HDRP, I mean the PBR workflow works with Autodesk Interactive. But you can choose any shader you like for however you've made your ship. If you don't have PBR textures, then well, you're not gonna use that. And voila. So there's all your other goodies. We'll get to the rudders and things just now, but let's get all our things in the right place. So you want to match. Let's start with the smoke system. Let's get that into the right place. Where are my stacks? Okay, so I've got 2 stacks. Let's put it in an exact place. Just going to duplicate this. Right, and that's smoke done. Next up, center of gravity. So the boat will be rotating on this point. Okay, so before I go ahead, this grid line is the water line. So you need to place your ship's model on that water line. Don't worry about your origin point, that doesn't really matter as long as your boat's sitting midships. Right, so let's get this down. It's usually a good idea to go projection. I can see exactly, there's my water line, right there. Okay, so now you want to move all your goodies into place because you don't want to place everything like I just did and then you move the model and everything's off. Okay. So center of gravity is going to be your pivot point for the entire boat. And it also has to do with, how she's going to look in the water. If you have a COG there and she's bobbing around in the swell, she's going to look awfully weird when she twists around or rotates on that point. So generally I'd say a ship's center of gravity is somewhere around a lower point, you would hope. Otherwise you'll have an inherently unstable boat. Okay, lights are pretty simple right now. These are just white lights in the template. You can place them wherever you want, wherever your boat's lights are. You can fiddle with these, and you'll see in the editor what they're doing or how they act. There we go. So I'll just pop that one in there just to give you an idea of how this works. And I'll grab these values, just copy them onto the next one for the port side. Probably make that a negative. Okay, so that will be buttons. So this will be on your numpad 1. See, it says lights 1, that's numpad 1. You can go up to numpad 9. You can just duplicate this group and rename it to lights 4, and that will automatically be linked to your numpad. But I'm not going to go and place all those lights right now. So the COG is placed. Next up is the hull collider. This needs to match the shape of your hull. Don't use the scale tool, just use the scale over here. Might be the same thing, but I'm not 100% sure. This method works. Try and match it as close as you can. It's capsule. That's close enough. The ship cam is your camera spawn point. I'd say there would be fine. Okay, this is the good stuff right here. Buoyancy. Okay, let's do the buoyancy points. Okay, so your first one's your bow, and your last one's your stern. Okay, we'll probably see this in wireframe a little easier, and we can work from the top. Right, let's get the stern on. Right, you only pull them on the Z axis. Don't move them up and down. We don't know what's going to happen when you do that. You're welcome to play with them, but we can't guarantee anything. Right, so those are the next two, and then we'll be dividing the boat up equally. It'll make a bit more sense in a moment. There's your middle one, so you can place these dead midships, and then there's another 4 points aft. Right, let's have a look from the top what it looks like. Okay, the division's not too bad, but I'd like to move those two a little bit further back. Take that value and put it on the next one. Right, let's have a quick look. Should do the trick. Okay, so we'll get into the values later on. Right now it's got a default setting which is quite buoyant, quite stiff. The water interaction spheres, there's only 2 spheres. And the bow and the stern. And you'll get a feeling for how it's acting when you see it in action, and it doesn't have to be there. I mean, if you wanted to act a little early, like you've got a bulbous bow there, you can move it. Okay, and then with your model you should have these groups separately. I've got the 2 rudders. I could drag them in there, so you're just gonna let's pull one out just to give you an idea. Functioning. Let's grab the starboard rudder, chuck it in there. Make sure it's the same name. Delete the standard one. Now make sure this thing is zeroed. This rudder is completely zeroed within that group. Then move the entire category, not just the item in the category. Let's go back to wireframe. Move this over here. Should be easy enough to see from here, because we've got another one there. So just line it up. Let's see what it looks like from the stern. Let's go have a close-up look. F2. Okay, that's in the correct place, and it should rotate correctly. And the same applies for the propeller. Okay, now the boat's ready for export. We'll have our first look in the game. Let's go to where we created this folder in mod tools, where we said create new mod. This folder was created here. We're going to drag this entire ship category into there, and now it's created a separate mod. So if you make any changes now in the future to anything, you are going to have to update this. Once you make a change, it'll pick up and it'll ask you to override, and then you just say override to all, and then make sure to save, and then you'll say export settings. So let's find, so the ferry will be correct, so this is where your asset currently is, and where you want to put it is going to be in your where you've extracted Navismaster, the download. So it'll be under Navismaster data, mods, right there. Right, and then you can say build. Okay, once it's exported and created the mod, it'll automatically open the folder where it's placed it. So you can just move to Navismaster and run the software. Okay, after you've logged in, you'll be landing on our first screen here, and then you click new game, mod scene, or if you just want to see your ship quickly, you can go to ship viewer. And there we go, ferry's here. Voila, simple as that.